Venus in Scorpio and Stalkers. I'm Lamarr Townsend. I'm a natural intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, psychic, tarot reader, and an astrologist, and I would love to do a personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading for you, or a birth chart reading, or a love synastry, love compatibility birth chart reading. Visit my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, if you would like any of those. If you have any questions, check out the FAQ section as well as the personal ethics section on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the bell next to the subscribe button, which is the notification button, so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. Also, I would love it if you would follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend and like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend Official. Also join my public group on Facebook, okay? Lamarr Townsend Group. All right? So, Venus in Scorpio and Stalkers. Now, if you have Venus in Scorpio, you know exactly what I'm talking about, all right? Venus in Scorpio can attract stalkers, and I don't necessarily mean the type of stalker who follows you home, when you walk to the market, uh, follows your car when you go get your coffee, smiles at you all the time, and you happen to see them everywhere, they pop up. Not that kind of stalker. That's a really creepy stalker. You should probably not call the cops, but, let them know, put them in their place, right? And you know what I mean by that too, Venus and Scorpio, putting people in their place, because sometimes we need to do that. But sometimes Venus and Scorpio, we attract stalkers and they don't even know they're stalking us, all right? Let me explain what I mean by this, all right? Venus in Scorpio is a very uh hmm, it's an enigma almost. It's a very magical magnetic placement to have, and a lot of times those who have this placement don't understand the magnetism that they have. You know, my Venus is in Scorpio, so I resonate with this energy heavily. Like I F's with it heavily. Let me. This sunlight is totally messing up my entire frame, and I don't like it. There we go. All right, that's so much better. I can't with that sunlight. Sunlight is so shady sometimes, isn't it? Anyways, Venus in Scorpio is a very magnetic placement to have. So, a lot of times those who actually have this placement don't understand just how magnetic and hypnotizing they actually are. As I was saying, my Venus is in Scorpio, so I totally understand it. A lot of times, I will have stalkers out and about, and they don't even know they're stalking me. What do I mean by that? They stare at me, uncontrollably in public. I have those people who just stare at you uncontrollably. They can't help themselves. Even when you stare back at them and give them the evil eye stare, like, can you stop staring at me? That intrigues them even more. Like, they want to know, ooh, they're so spicy, they're so dark and mysterious. I want to know more. Ooh, they're so secretive. They don't want me to know what's going on. It's like, yeah, I really don't want you to know what's going on. You're creeping me out. you know these people, Scorpio, Venus and Scorpio can like incite stalker tendencies in people, right? It's really, really weird and really creepy. Sometimes like I get anxious being out in public because like I don't like people staring at me. It makes me really, really uncomfortable, and I know I should get used to it with this whole YouTube thing, I guess. But I really don't want to be famous. Like, I don't do this for the fame. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this for the recognition. I do this because I have a passion for it. I do this because I love what I do. I hate that this thing is so uneven, and maybe that's my Virgo rising. But it's like, oh, shout out to Nas. I love Nas. I saw him on tour recently, but this is just not a good moment fashion wise. Maybe I just need to let it go. I'll let it go, okay. But anyways, um, but I get really uncomfortable with that, right? And I know, even though maybe you don't have your own YouTube channel, I do know some Venus and Scorpios who have their own YouTube channel. Shout out to Simon Benjamin. I love him. But I'm sure he can, like, relate. I'm sure you as a Venus and Scorpio can relate to people just staring at you uncontrollably in public, and it makes you really uncomfortable, I'm sure, whether you're recognized or not, right? Um, but Venus and Scorpio incites these feelings in people because, we have to think Venus. Venus is the planet of harmony, passion, beauty, aesthetics, how we spend money, the pleasures we enjoy in life. Scorpio's a very dark sign. Scorpio's a very mysterious, very intense sign. So when we have that in Venus, I mean, that's our whole aesthetic, that's our whole aura, that's our whole essence. That's kind of who we exude even when we're not exuding anything. You know what I'm saying? It's a natural thing for us as Venus and Scorpios. Um and sometimes people want to grab at that. People like can't help themselves. It tantalizes them. Like, they get that twinkle in their eye. And it just, it's just too much for me sometimes. But one thing I've noticed, Venus and Scorpio, is that we kind of have these tendencies too, a little bit. Like when I see a cute guy, honey, I don't care if he's white, Latino, Indian, black, Asian, Japanese. It doesn't really matter to me. American, Native American, like it doesn't matter. Whenever I see a cute guy, I stare. You know what I'm saying? I might, I don't follow. This is one thing I've noticed is that sometimes, like, and women will do this to me sometimes. I'm gay, but women will like do this. Guys will definitely do this to me sometimes too. They'll follow me. Like I'll speed up my walking and I'll notice them following me, like stalker tendencies, right? And they may not be a stalker, I don't want to call them stalkers, but they're showing stalker tendencies, like, why are you following me? You're keeping me out. And then it's like, is this all in my head? Is this person really following me? Or am I just being a paranoid, freaked out Venus and Scorpio? You know what I'm saying? But the way to figure that out I've noticed, is if you kind of get away from them and look back at them and they look at you, they were stalking you. If they look at you and they give you the eye, they were stalking you. It's always in the look. It's always in the look, Venus and Scorpio. Anyways, I've noticed that as a Venus and Scorpio, we do this too. Now, maybe you want to admit it, but I'm sure, when you see someone who really, ignites your fancy, Venus and Scorpio, who really, like, lights your passion, and just because, that doesn't happen often for us as Venus and Scorpios. We get bombarded by so many peoples and so many genders, just bombarding us with you know tantalizing looks, and energies of I want you, I want this energy, but we have to constantly guard ourselves against that, that those stalkerish, icky people. Well, to me they're icky. I don't know about you, maybe you like that energy. I just can't stand it sometimes, like. But when we meet someone or see someone who like ignites that within us, we have to actually suppress those tendencies in us, those stalker tendencies. Like, oh my gosh, okay, don't follow him, don't stare at him, don't don't let him notice that you're feeling him, totally, or her, whatever your thing is, right? Like, we have those tendencies too. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're attracted to that in us. Maybe they're attracted to those stalker tendencies in us, but we're just so good at self controlling it. And maybe that literally just makes them even more wild. Like, oh my gosh, they're controlled. They have it all under control. I can't control myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need more of this. I'm gonna stalk this person, this Venus and Scorpio. Like, I don't get it. I'm trying to understand it from other people's perspectives who don't have a Venus and Scorpio, who come across us who have Venus and Scorpios. Like, like, I get that we're just so intriguing and just so, mysterious, but boundaries, you know what I'm saying? Boundaries, I don't get it. Does this happen to you sometimes? Is this just because I have this platform? Like, I don't get it. Like, tell me what your experience is as a Venus and Scorpio, maybe tell me what your experience is as just a Scorpio. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe Scorpios just go through this in general. But I know Scorpios, once again, can be stalkers themselves. Like, they may not be as uncontrollable as some of the other signs, but Scorpios can definitely, like, they will definitely stalk you on Facebook, your friends, find out your date of birth, your, this and that. Like, they're the researchers, they're the truth seekers, you know what I'm saying? They go beneath the surface, but it's interesting because sometimes they can attract that same energy to them. So it's like a balance, you know what I'm saying? And it's a constant, boundary, putting up your boundaries, because we can be so sensitive and so vulnerable and receptive to stuff too, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that silent strength, that people seem to be attracted to, but then they often get too close to us, and they back us into a wall, and that's when the stinger comes out. You know what I'm saying? Like the Venus and Scorpio stinger comes out, and we just become really emotionally erratic, and we might cuss you out, tell you to back the F up, leave me alone, stop stalking me. I've been noticing you stalking me for the longest time. Now you've invaded my space, you've invaded my boundary, and now I have free reign to sting you and just let you know how I really feel without any inhibitions. You know what I'm saying? So, stalk at your own risk, you guys. I understand that Venus and Scorpio is an interesting placement, but Venus and Scorpio is also someone you don't want to F with, okay? Like, seriously, you don't. No matter what their other placements are. Now, I'm a Capricorn sun, so you know how Capricorn gets down. So, Capricorn ain't never scared to let someone know how they feel. But, as a Venus and Scorpio, I'm understanding this energy more. And I'm finding the balance. So I would like to know how you're coming to understand it, how you're finding the balance. Like I said, I've done videos on this where this is something I've kind of dealt with all my whole life because I've been a Venus and Scorpio all my whole life. Clearly, we've talked about this. Like, Venus and Scorpio can be such a complex placement with a lot of different things that come with it. So I'm just trying to take it all in stride, and be the best version of me that I can be, with Jesus Christ on my side, all right? So I love you guys. Thank you so much for doing this reading with me. I really appreciate it. If you would like your own personal private tarot reading or birth chart reading, please contact me on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. Also, please subscribe, hit the bell next to the subscribe button so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. I would seriously love to know your comments. This is all for fun and jokes and entertainment, but it's also some truth in this, okay? I know you guys are feeling this, and totally understand where I'm coming from, so. With that being said, namaste. Until next time, I hope you guys are having a great day, and catch you in the next video, okay? Contact me on my website or email me, all right? And follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend, like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend official. Toodaloo.